All right. All right. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Hello, good evening, everyone. Just gonna have one quick check with the AV. Is everything good here? Let's check it out. I think we are good. We are live. Apologies. We had some tech issue happening. System was not responding. Times it happens, man. Never rely on machines. Strongly believe in it. Uh, it's probably even a thought for the day. AI will not replace us. It is probably going to incorporate with us. If you know how to do it, we are through. So this bugger did not know how to cooperate with us. Had some glitch over here. So we'll just probably begin. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Palak. Good evening, Priya. Good evening, everyone. Just finding out a few names over here. Some people joined in and then they have left. I hope they come back. So we'll get started. Let's not keep you waiting. I think the numbers are going to be a little less considering tomorrow's Holi. Happy holiday, folks. Happy Holi, everyone. For the day, we'll talk about preparation for Quant. I think that's the need of the hour for most of us, right? Some of us are not feeling comfortable with this section. Some of us have no idea what to do and how to do. So let me quickly give you a brief download. Some of these things you would have heard me say. I'm going to say it again. Hey, but to begin with, you have to understand that we are looking at 9 months for CAT now. That's going to be super crucial. The first question that you have in your head is, hey, can I prepare for CAT in 9 months? Forget Quant. Can I crack CAT with 9 months of preparation? In a nutshell, my answer will always be yes. It doesn't matter how long you prepare. All that matters is how intense you were during your preparation. I hear people say, I prepare for 4 hours a day. I prepared for 10 months. It sounds like a good number, but do they really have a chance of cracking CAT? It depends on how intensive those 4 hours were, how committed they were to their preparation. But in general, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, you can crack this test in any duration. But to begin with, 9 months from today, is it possible? The answer is yes. So I'm going to talk about the 9 months here. We happen to have March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. I'm going to break them into 3 parts of 3 months each. Does it mean 3 months you learn, 3 months you practice, 3 months you take mocks? No, you cannot do it that way. The moment you say, I will learn everything in 3 months, I'll practice everything in 3 months, and for 3 months I'll keep giving mocks. It doesn't happen that way. The simple reason being that is, whatever you learn in the first month, when you go to the 5th or 6th month, I am pretty sure you will not remember it. So there needs to be a practice, a feedback, a loop that goes on. So I'm going to split it into 3 parts: learn, practice, mocks. And the learning, practicing and taking mocks happens in all the 3 sections, all the 3 time periods. To begin with, when I talk about May, I'm going to break it down into 3 parts here: learn, practice and mocks. If you look at this, learning happens more, practicing happens equally good, and then mocks happen to be very less here. What do I mean by this? Now you can think about this as 50% of your prep is learning. You can even go to take it to 60%. Some 40%, I'm going to say that's practicing, and maybe some 10%. What do I mean by that? You don't even have to give a mock in March. Recommended 1 and 1. If you want, you can take 1 mock in March. But do I recommend that? Not really. 1 mock in April, 1 mock in May, we are good. That's going to be a first structure. I think we have heard this from multiple people. I'm just reiterating it. I was talking about the same thing the week before. I'll talk about this a week later. I'll talk about this a year later. The structure, the standard doesn't change, but it is utterly important that you stick to the strategy. Then what about the next part? When you talk about June, July and August, if you notice, your learning comes a little less, your practice goes more, your mock goes more. What does it mean? Should I learn less? I'm not telling you to learn less, but we understand that the more you do, the lesser you have to do, lesser you have to learn. So your learning part shrinks because in the first 3 months you have learned a lot. So that comes down, but then there is huge amounts of practice and mocks are equally as good. What do I mean by this? From June, July and August, my recommendation would be to take one mock a week, and for all 3 months, I will give you 3 to 4 mocks here, 3 to 4 mocks here and 3 to 4 mocks here. This is recommended, weekly ones at least. That will give you some 10 to 12 mocks, maximum 12. It's okay, 12, 13 mocks you give, that's a very good number for these 3 months, to stick to it. And then when you go to the next 3 months, September, October, November, this is where it is very crucial that your entire preparation revolves around mock. What do I mean by that? There's nothing new to learn, but there is always something that you might have missed during your learning phase. When you take a mock, you would probably realize that, hey, I did not learn this. Let me go back, revisit this and then come back. So this place is going to be super crucial. I'm going to go around somewhere around 5 to 6 mocks each month. This will give you somewhere around 15 to 16 mocks. I'm going to say 15, 16 mocks, 12 mocks in the second phase, and then 2, 3 mocks in the first phase. It adds up to 30 mocks. If you can give 30 mocks, great. You don't have to give more than that, but if you can give, I have a feeling 25 to 30 mocks you give, you are through. Some people take 20 and they feel comfortable around it. It's not more the mocks you take, the better you get. Of course, the idea of more is very subjective here. A minimum of 20, 22 mocks is necessary to get used to this idea, and it is utterly important you take a mock to understand what it is. Remember, CAT is not about pace building. It's not about solving questions quicker. It is about strategy. It is about resilience. It is about commitment. It is about curiosity. They all are important. So the more you prepare for it, the more you commit yourself to this, the better it happens. Clear? This strategy, keep it in mind. This happens to be my mantra. This happens to be my recommendation to all aspirants. Some of us, or most of us, align with this idea. Anyone who deviates from this idea have their own style, have their own strategy because they feel comfortable around it. Own your prep. That's what we say. That I can give you a blueprint. A blueprint is a structure which feels good. You want to add layers, remove it, is to your comfort. I cannot design an entire structure and tell you this is the foolproof technique, you follow this, 99 percentile will be assured. No one can give you that. But I can give you a structure that goes here, that takes you to 99 percentile, provided you tweak it to your comfort. That's very important, right? I'm going to have one quick look at the chat to see if there are any questions here. Sectional or mock, full mock. Now, every time people bring sectional tests, I don't call sectional, sectionals. I recommend sectionals on 2 grounds. One, when you feel like a particular section is not to your comfort. Now, let's say Quant. I happen to deal with Quant. Let's talk about Quant. If you feel Quant is not aligning with your comfort, you feel like every time you give mock, it's not happening, it's not working out. I believe the slump in Quant happens because of 2 reasons. One, obviously being not comfortable. Most people slump there. The other reason is fatigue. Now, if you understand, if you realize that Quant happens to be the 3rd section of the test, you are already spending 80 minutes in the first 2, which is already exhaustive. We do VARC. If you have read 2 passages, you have solved them, and then do 2 sets in DLR, and you come to Quant, you have already lost it. So that could also be a reason for your poor performance in Quant. The 3rd section, that's a problem. I recommend sectionals in 2 cases. Obviously, one, when you feel like this is not your comfort zone, you go take a few sectionals and then come back. But I also have a slight apprehension towards sectionals for one reason. When you give a sectional test, let's say Quant again, you solve 10-12 questions, you feel very comfortable about the section, and then you go give a mock, you feel like you have slumped again. You are not able to solve more than 4 or 5. Because when you take a sectional separately, you are fresh. Your mind is very fresh. So you are able to solve 10 questions. After 2 sections, you go to quant, it slightly slumps. So does sectional really reflect your performance in that section? Not really. Yeah, I have that one apprehension. But if you want to get a gist of that section, go for it. But all this while, every time I've been referring to mock, I've been talking about full length mocks. Full length mocks is my go-to zone. It gives you a feeling of writing the test. It tests your resilience, it tests your endurance, and it sees how comfortable you are getting. And also giving a 2-hour mock also makes your mind prepared for the test. So go for full length mocks. Sectionals if and only if it's needed. We usually recommend to not take more than 5 sectionals per section. Not 4 is good. 4 each is good. Separately. No, don't give too many sectionals and leave out on mocks. Right? Another question. Currently I am doing level 1 and level 2. Palak says she is doing level 1 and level 2. It's enough. For the time it's absolutely enough. Feel comfortable with level 2, level 1 at least. If your accuracy falls somewhere between 70 to 80% in a topic in level 2 questions, good going. If you know these are level 1 questions, your accuracy has to be slightly better. 80-90% accuracy has to be there. Level 2, 70-80%. If you are hitting that, it is enough for now. Keep practicing them over and again. When you do that, when you go to level 3, your accuracy might dip down a bit. It's okay. Go back, revisit the concepts, and then go back and do it. You'll start getting better. Excel sheet follow karna, yeah. Okay. Now, of course, some of you might have gotten the Excel sheet that Rahul sir would have given you. Should you follow that sheet or this sheet? I think Rahul sir gave you a sheet a month back. Now, the sheet that I am giving you starts from March. That would have started from Feb. Is there a difference? Absolutely not. To be honest, there is no difference in how you prepare. A month will not make a lot of difference. Maybe 2 months later, there will be a slight tweak in the idea. In the structure, not even the idea, the structure might change, but Feb to March there is no real big difference, but I am giving you my flavor in it. So you can follow what fits your comfort. I have a couple of added flavors in it that goes with my style, that goes with my comfort, my recommendations. So I'll talk about it. I'll run you through the sheet. When you have a look at it, it is completely your call. Or if you want to merge both the sheets, incorporate both of them in a particular idea, go for it. But I'm giving you a rough sketch. The planner, the roadmap is a rough sketch that Rahul sir gives you from his perspective. I give you from my perspective. Who is right? Neither of us are right. Neither of us are wrong. Both of us are giving our idea, our flavor of the roadmap. End of the day, you feel like, hey, I want to do this before that before this. You want to change it? That's up to you. Right? How to plan structure so that we can revise previous topic as well. I'll talk about that. I want to have a crack at it. We'll do. Algebra is looking tough. How to tackle it? We'll talk about algebra as well. And then Keshul has please provide advice of some more really in both LRDI basics and quants how to plan basics in NCERT from NCERT. Okay, done. So how to plan structure. So what is revision? Wow. One thing that really sits well in my head that some people don't feel comfortable around is revision. What defined revision? What do I mean by revision? If that's a question that you have in your head, see, we all have come across this one scenario in our college, school. You would have read your first unit, you write a weekly test, you will get good scores, great grades. But in the final exam, you tend to forget them, right? Now, every time back then in school when I was a kid, we write this quarterly exam and then half yearly exam and then annual exam. I always had an issue when I write quarterly, I write 4 units. When I write half yearly, as a kid I thought, why write 8 units? Write the second 4 units. But then while writing half yearly, you are revisiting the quarterly questions as well, some of them. And then when you do the annual, entire syllabus, revisiting every topic is utterly necessary. There is no way you can skip it. My recommendation would always be, you learn a topic today, let's say 2 days you practice it, a week or 2 later, revisit that. You don't have to solve all of them, at least run through the questions, have a mental idea of what needs to be done. You don't even have to solve them. If you feel like, I have gotten this idea, I don't want to solve it, but I understand what concept it comes from. If you get that idea, move on. So in your first revision phase, let's say I learn percentages today. 3 weeks later, I will revisit percentages. I will take maybe an hour, maybe 3 hours to revise all the concepts. 3 weeks later, I will revisit percentages again, but this time my revision period comes down to an hour. Another 1 month or 2 months later, when I revisit a particular idea, I will barely take 15 minutes. That is what we call it as a revision, revisiting a concept. Now, let's understand this. When you travel to a place for the very first time, we all click Google Maps. Second time also, you will use Google Maps, but partially you will get through. You take the support. Your first time you are entirely dependent on the map. Second time some 70-30. Fourth time it's 30-70. And the 10th time it's 100%. So until you get comfortable, you keep doing it. You take the maps over and again, same idea. Until you tell yourself, hey, I think no matter how many times I do this, how long after I do this, I still feel comfortable around it, is where you tell that you have, I will not say mastering the topic, but I'll say I've gotten a comfort over this topic. So I have a couple of ideas. When I look at a time and work question, which we had a discussion on, I read the question, I understand, I have to apply the total work, find individual efficiency, equate total work, whatever it is. If I can get an idea of it, I'll skip. I'll not sit and solve it. I won't sit, solve the question, find the answer and then go. I will do it only if time tells me I might have to do it now. Otherwise, I'll tell myself, I've gotten this idea, I'm good, and then I'll skip. That's what I call it as revision. Telling yourself, I know this idea, I can plug it in and then get it done. When you get that feeling, you move on to the next topic, right? LRDI basics and quant basics. So DLR basics is also, see, DLR basics and quant happen to merge, intersect at one point called data interpretation. Or DI deals heavily with percentages, ratios, averages, and then number theory to a certain extent. Logical reasoning relies heavily on number theory. So get these basics. I will talk about it. The structure, when I talk about how each topic is being placed, I'll have one go at it. The moment you get a hang on all these ideas, your DI also gets sorted. The graph, table, chart, arrangement, pie charts, whatever it is, also gets sorted. So when you do number theory, you are also sorting it for logical reasoning. So they go hand in hand. So get to the hand of basics, get a hang of that basics, and most of the times, every time someone questions me, they ask me, sir, how do I get this? How do I do that? What is to be done? What needs to be done? My standard one-word answer has been practice. If you can practice on a regular basis, if you can get a touch of comfort with those topics, is where you tell yourself, I'm good. Most of my answers, set selection, practice. Concept idea, practice. Application of theorems, properties, whatever it is, practice. There is nothing greater and bigger than practice. What reading is to VARC is practice is to quant or DILR for that fact. Solving a set is the only way that you get comfortable around DILR. Solving a question on a topical basis is where you get comfortable around quant. Reading to VARC, practice to quant and VARC or DILR. Of course, practice also is needed in VARC, but the major term here happens to be practice. Most of the questions that you shoot here, I'll be telling you, practice, you will get it. It gets sorted out. It's muscle memory. The solving muscle needs to build. How do I explain this? When you travel from your home to place, we just spoke about Google Maps. If you are traveling from your office to your home, your mind doesn't tell you take a left here. Your body automatically turns, if you have realized it. I like that idea. Sometimes we take it for granted. Our muscle memory is super strong. I think we take it for granted on multiple occasions. We don't realize how powerful the concept of muscle memory is. And that happened because you kept doing the same thing over and again. A beautiful example that I tell students is, I don't know if you have noticed this. You can type on your mobile phone without looking at the keypad. Most of us use swipe keypad. You don't even have to look at it. Your fingers work around it and then gets it done. Back then when we had QWERTY keypad, we didn't even have to look at anything. We can just simply put our fingers on that keypad and then get it done. People have gotten comfortable with swipe keypad on touch phones. You don't have to do it. But then when you borrow your friend's phone or someone else's phone, you will have to look at the screen because that screen is not designed for your comfort. Muscle memory is super powerful. So songs, take it from songs, movies, anything that you do on your day-to-day life, building that is important. Solving muscle is necessary when it comes to quant. Resilience. One other thing that I tell people, okay, I have commitment. I have a muscle memory for solving questions. I understand concepts. I'm good at math. Do they all help me in getting better scores or learning better? I add one more word here, curiosity. I don't know how many people understand the power of curiosity. I believe in the saying, I'm pretty sure you all would have come across the saying, necessity is the mother of invention. I say curiosity is the father of invention. I like the idea of curiosity. My comfort with this subject happens to come from my curiosity. I like this subject, I want to know something, and then I do. What and whys have been my way to learn it. It was not under compulsion. I understand you guys are aspirants and you are under compulsion to learning it. Change it to curiosity. A lot of things will fall in your head like a dolly. It's a sitter. It falls into your head and then you will be like, okay, that's how it's done. Get used to that. Have this curiosity of learning an idea. It's a lot better than compelling yourself to learn something, right? Some toppers think after solving like what can be done or should be done to solve and think at a new perspective. Is this true? I don't know. I am not a topper. But then there should always be a thought, a curiosity to know, is there something that can be done better? We talk about it in mocks. After you solve a question, even questions that were right in your paper, we recommend to go back and analyze that question. Why? One, is there anything that can be done better? Or they're thinking about the fact that, did I get it right? Was it a fluke that I got this answer right? Did I make a mistake and still ended up with the right answer? Or is there anything better that I could have done? Even for right answers, we recommend to analyze. So there is always scope for learning. Learning is a never-ending process. So revisiting the questions that you have solved, even no matter how tricky they were, you go revisit it and then come back. That's necessary. It's not a topper's mantra. It is for anyone. Advice on forgetting habit and how to tackle it, and please share your valuable advice. How to think smart. Think smart. Think smart. You are asking the wrong person. Thinking smart. You don't have to be smart. Sometimes that's what I tell people. The smartness is a skill. That's an innate skill. You have to be smart. I cannot teach you to be smart. No one can teach someone to be smart. You can think this way. That's where I plug in muscle memory. That's where I plug in curiosity. I tell yourself, I don't know this logic. Can I learn this? The answer should be yes. There should be that willingness to learn and then the ability to learn. I'm pretty sure everyone sitting here listening to this session has the ability to learn, has the willingness to learn. But the problem is we are not collaborating it. You are not putting them together. The moment you put them together, it gets easy, right? Anything for pure motivation when we feel like giving up? Please share. What motivates you? What drives you? This is subjective. But sometimes I tell myself when on a personal note, when on in my personal life, if something doesn't go my way, I tell myself, okay, let me try. I don't run behind the results. I run for the experience. For instance, eating healthy, working out and then losing weight has been something that has been on my plate for a long time, which I have not been able to do. But the one thing that I've started doing is eating healthy. I've said, let me do it for the experience, not for the result. Trust me, for the experience, it gave me great results. So learn, do it for the experience, for the joy of learning, not under compulsion. The moment you say, I'm going to write CAT, I need to crack this test, I want to get into a top B school and build a career, that's my motto, that's my agenda. If you fix that and start preparing today, most of us don't work with it. It doesn't work out for you. But tell yourself, hey, I'm going to have a crack at this. I know this is tricky, I know this is challenging, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to have the joy of learning, the pleasure in that learning. I'm going to go through the journey and see where it takes me. Be humble. I have said this already. Tell yourself, be humble, learn, and it takes you places. That's my motivation that I follow. I don't know if it resonates with you, but hey, but that's my 2 cents on my motivation. Solving pro question is in book is difficult too much. Quit dumping questions. We'll have one more discussion. We'll have another session on question selection and then ignoring questions. Remember this, CAT is not about selecting your questions. CAT is about rejecting your questions. There are 22. You're going to solve 6 to 7 is your first target. You are dumping more questions than you're solving. If you find it to be tough, if you find it to be tricky, it is completely fine to dump it off, come back, revisit, analyze, learn, and then solve another question of the same type. It's completely fine. Do not quit because it was tough. Tell yourself, I'm glad I found this to be tough so that I dumped it. Don't carry that baggage for the rest of your questions. It's okay to skip questions. Ignore them. Ignore them. They are going to be time eaters. It's okay. I will happily dump 7 questions on a trot. You should be happy. Sometimes I know on the 8th question there's a pressure of saying that, hey, I've dumped 7 questions. Fine. Go with it. Live with it. Your first 2 marks, get it in negative. Don't be bothered about your first 3-4 marks. They don't make a point. It doesn't make anything here. It's okay. It's fine. I'm telling you, it's fine. Today, it is completely fine. Innate skills cannot be built, Keshul. It's innate. How can you build? You can build it with practice, with habits, disciplined habits. You can build something, but something that's innate, I cannot teach you. I'm comfortable with math. How can I teach you to be comfortable? I can tell you to be comfortable with math. I can tell you how to be comfortable with math. I cannot teach you that. There aren't steps, foolproof techniques that I can tell you. You do this daily. Mix sugar with curd, eat every day, your brain expands. Nothing of that sort. Nothing. Must build in, believe in what you can build. That's important more than learning it from others. Right? So we'll jump then. Now we already know these modules. I'm going to say these are going to be your syllabus patterns, percentage, profit and loss, SICA. We already had a dump at it. This too happens to be your core place of learning. Arithmetic and algebra is where you need to be super strong with. We'll go to that. And then followed by you have geometry. And then followed by you have modern math and then number theory. All of them are necessary when it comes to arithmetic and algebra. If you are looking at 99.9 percentile, do all 5. If you know where you should land, this is my footfall, this is where I should land, plan accordingly, strategically plan. Based on percentiles, there are different strategies. I'm going to give you a standard strategy to hang on, get to the 93rd percentile, 94th. I'm assuring you 93, 94 percentile. with this, whatever we do, that's 93, 94 assured in your pocket. What do I do for that? Arithmetic and algebra. Undoubtedly, get these two modules in the back, you are done. You are looking at 90 plus percentile without a doubt. You have cross cutoffs, you are eligible for one major chunk of colleges now, and you are hoping to do better and then go to 97, 98 and get to even better colleges. Black eyes have to be your target. You have to go there. You have to work towards it. But I'm going to give you a foolproof method, and obviously that starts with arithmetic and algebra, because again we understand that they happen to have the major chunk of questions. 13 to 14 questions come from here. If you can get your hands on 12 questions here, you are easily looking at 97. Easily. If you can get your hands on 14, 15 questions, you can even go to the 100%. 99.900 is there in the bag to be grabbed. So do that. Now, obviously, we all are here for this one idea. What is the sheet? How do I do it? In case if you guys have one quick look at the chat, how many questions to practice of a topic? If we take a topic for a week, we'll talk about it. So, how to use the sheets? So, I think you have already downloaded sheets from Surana sir, Rahul sir, all these folk, all these people. Same strategy, same technique. So, there's a link in the description here on the YouTube link, on the YouTube description. Click that. There's a Google form over there. Fill that form, submit it, and then that will give you a link. Open the link and then make a copy. I repeat, you will get a view only copy. You make a copy for yourself. That's a copy, that's a view only sheet that you click on file. I'll teach you all of that. We'll have one look at it. Create that, and then you have your own sheet to work with, right? Any doubts? I'll show you all of this. Sometimes I study for 8-9 hours, but sometimes I don't want to study for an hour. Ujjwal, we fall on the same boat. Some days you are utterly committed. Your focus is extremely high. You put 8-9 hours, and then one day you don't even want to spend an hour. Fine. I come from this school of thought. Some days our motivation is at its peak, our performance is at its peak. You do more. Some days you are dull. Some days we feel like we are dumb to the core. Sometimes we feel like I'm the dumbest person on earth. Those days you don't want to work. Fine. But then ensure that the compensation happens. The 8 hours that you do on a day, you showed utter commitment with maximum focus. Get it done. 2-3 days. I'll talk about those sheets. When I go there on a day-to-day basis, I'll give you why it works. For some people it works, it does miracles. I'll show you how it's done. So in case if you haven't still joined our Telegram channels, have a quick look at it. So there is a channel for MBA Wallah English. So you get all the content relevant, anything, everything that's happening in the channel for the batch or whatever it is. You get all your updates over here. Get that. Scan the QR code over here. Join the channel. Take value. Super important. If you want to join a channel where I post my content, or if you want to reach out to me, solve questions, ask doubts, that's the QR code for that. For Bhaskar sir, for CAT. So go for it. Sign in. Join whatever material. Every time I do a class, that content goes over there. So you can revisit all of that and get a flavor of a revision of everything that you have done. So, right. One quick look at the chat here. If I can take a batch, can I have one-to-one session with you, or how to connect with you, sir? Please, sir. Do drop your questions. We'll take it. We'll take a one-on-one. Not assuring you that we'll do one-on-one sessions every time, but then if you have any doubts, feel free to message me over here. We'll get in touch. We'll talk to you. We'll get an absolute end-to-end preparation strategy for anyone and everyone, right? So how do I go around this? I had it open. Give me a sec. So if you open this, you see this form link over here, click that. When you click it, you will get this sheet. So fill in every detail that you have. I'm going to just fill in my, so I'm going to fill in, I'm not obviously going to fill my number. So I come from Chennai, so fill it. And then state. And then batch, elite, pioneer, fundamentals, whatever it is. So I'm going to say fundamentals. And then submit. It will take you to this link. This is the link for the sheet. Click that. So the sheet will open here. Once it's open, click file over here, make a copy, and then make a copy. So I've created a new sheet for yourself now, which can be edited by you. And this is important. Obviously, you are going to fill in your details. So please don't ask for edit access. If I give you edit access, other people will not be able to fill it in. So your data is your data, keep it confidential. We don't want to have a look at your data as well, right? I don't want to know what you're doing. Of course, you might want to tell about your prep to me so that we can improvise, but I don't want to show your prep to other people, right? So we'll not do that. So the moment you come here, name, fill in your details here. This data helps you to understand what is needed, and obviously this is the place that you are fighting for, right? What's your target? Which schools are you targeting? This is what you are running behind. Remember that. So I have a bunch of sheets here, worksheets here. We'll have a look at each of them. So this is the dashboard where you can analyze everything that you have done, taking from start to begin with your prep, your progress, to your mock scores. Everything will fall here. And how does it get filled? Go to your progress tracker. Same like what you have already seen with other people. Same idea, slightly different strategy. It's all same. So every time, so starting from March, I've started, today is Tuesday. So I usually believe in do it today, do it now. This is my mantra. But then I'm giving you some lenience here. You happen to have a festival tomorrow, Holi is happening, and then a couple of days you will want to relax. So I'm going to begin with the 9th of March. So every day there is a target. There is something that's been fed in on a day-to-day basis. I've given it a jam-packed schedule. There are no gaps in between. I'll tell you why I follow that way. We'll go there. So when you do percentage, fractions, changes, everything, you put a tick here on the checkbox. And then if you do practice day 1, 2, 3, 4, you will see that you have progress over here, right? Now, sometimes we know that someone asked, Ujjwal asked, I do 8 hours a day and some days I don't want to prepare. If you do that, let's say you did not prepare on day 3, but then on day 4 you compensated for day 3. Put a tick over there. Simple. Some people do 2 hours a day, some people do 4 hours a day, 4 hours every 2 days. They both are same. I believe in consistency, but consistency is not everyone's cup of tea. Am I consistent in the first place? No. It's not everyone's cup of tea. So you can skip a day, do something else, and then revisit on the next day, extended hours, and then still consider it to be done. Now I always have reserved days for your prep. Saturdays and Sundays I always have it for my mocks and my backlogs and my practice. All of them happen to be on Saturdays and Sundays. Why? I am going to assume everyone, work-ex, college people, anyone, Saturdays and Sundays, you are going to have some breather, some space to do a little more. So in case you were not able to do anything in the week, compensate it in the weekend and still put a tick for all of them. Fine. That's fine. This is a weekly target. I usually tell people to have weekly targets, not daily targets. If you can have daily targets, great. But if you are a working professional, you cannot spend 2 hours every day. It's not doable. Let's be a little honest here. That's not possible. You might probably compensate, do some 30, 40 minutes, 45 minutes every day, and then all those backlogs in the weekend and then compensate it. So And that's why I have weekly targets and monthly targets, not daily targets. If you can have daily targets, nothing like it. Discipline and commitment comes automatically, and then it's okay. That's not a crime to not prepare every day, but ensure that you do something or the other on a day-to-day basis to keep the momentum going, right? So keep doing this for everything. When you do it on a month-on-month basis, again, you can put ticks. You will see all these given here. Feel free to change the order, but the first few topics have been designed in a way you finish off arithmetic, then a little bit of number theory. I believe arithmetic followed by number theory, because it also helps you in DLR. Of course, the weightage of number system is less, I know it, but I still recommend people to do number theory, because a question or two sometimes pops up, nice, but it also gives you some hang on the DLR part of it. Some of those mathematical sets, it also helps you there. I believe in number theory somewhere here, and then followed by algebra. But still, if you want to revamp this, feel free to do it. There's a day-to-day, everything is given over here. If you notice, in the month of April, there is a mock. There's only one mock in April, and then there is only one mock in May, two mocks in May, and then starting from June, every weekend is a mock. Mock and analysis are super important. Reserve it for mocks, weekends. Reason, simply because that you will have more time space. And what is more important than a mock? The analysis part. And weekends is where you have more time, more sufficient time to do it. So that's why I fixed, reserved every weekend from June to be a mock weekend. Every weekend. It can be a Saturday, Friday night, or Saturday or a Sunday, anywhere, but ensure that you finish it off in that week and then move on to the next. There is absolutely no necessity to finish syllabus to take mocks. I repeat. Don't think like, sir, June you have started giving mocks, I haven't finished my syllabus. Your syllabus completion and your mocks are two disjoint sets. The only part where they link is the loop where you take feedback, revisit, learn, practice, and then take a mock. There is nothing between. Completing syllabus is essential to take mocks. Clear? Any algebra basics and have problem in making equations? Okay. Algebra is utterly important. Yes, of course. I'm going to say Surana sir has already made a planner. Yes, Surana sir made a planner and he has given it. I think he came live 2-3 days back. Do check out the video. The link is still over there. Take it out. Okay. I'm a working professional, but I always feel like I have a lot to cover and feel that I am short on time. How to handle that? Please share. You will never feel sufficient. I'm sorry. What was the name? Where is that question? Yeah. Keshul says, I'm a working professional. You will never feel sufficient. Oh, understand this. I'll give you this. Probably you will understand this. I've been married for 4 years. I have a kid who is 3 years old. I've been providing everything that he needs. I'm super happy. I've been touch wood. I've been maintaining a great life, family life. But there are days, at nights, I feel like as a father I have never been sufficient. Think about this. I'm 32. At 32, I still feel there are places I am not sufficient. Understand this. It's fine. It's fine. And as long as you are doing something, as long as you are keeping that momentum going, you are good. You will have this feeling of, hey, I did not do well enough. Everyone has it. Everyone. In our relationships, in our schools, in our colleges, as a boyfriend, as a girlfriend, as a husband, as a wife, as a son, as a daughter, we have it all in places. It's okay. I'm telling you, learn it. Tell yourself, I've done good. Keep that momentum going. You'll start doing better. Right? Anything for algebra basics? I have a problem in making equations, word problems. When we do classes on algebra, I'll deal with it, Keshul. We'll have a talk about it. LRDI, VRC, KB, alag se Excel sheet. Anshuman, right? Anshuman, the faculty will give you sheets for each and every one of them. Feel free to merge it. You have every right to merge them, align it, redesign your structure to your comfort. We are giving you a basic structure. There will be gaps. You can fill in those gaps. Will you get a sheet for it? You will get a sheet. How do you work around all of that? I'll tell you, I'll give you an instance. So my mock schedule and let's say Rahul sir's schedule or Surana sir's schedule might not align. They might not. I am giving you my perspective. You can incorporate both of them and then say, okay, Surana sir has given a mock on 14th, Bhaskar sir has given a mock on 20th, I'll take a mock on 17th and sign both of them. You can change it to your comfort. Okay. Again, imagine this like a buffet. You have the variety. What you want and how you want to eat is your choice. Some people go straight to dessert. That's fine. We don't judge them. Of course, we judge people who go to dessert straight away. But then it's okay. It's okay. It's completely their choice, their liberty. Feel free to do the same thing to your sheets. It's fine, right? Right. So fill in all of this. I am adding a couple of two other points to my flavor in my way. Sometimes I feel like quantifying is not a style. Sometimes people ask me, I think I also saw that question some time back. Sir, how many questions should we solve a day? I am not putting a number on it. How many questions should you solve a day depends on how quickly you get comfortable. For some people, 7 to 8 questions is where they get the gist of that entire idea and they sign it off. For some people, it takes 20 questions. I tell people, ensure that you do enough questions in a topic in one particular concept that makes you feel comfortable. That's the idea. Don't quantify your target. Don't ever quantify it. But despite saying that, sometimes I know people have an obsession towards quantifying what they have achieved. Nice examples. Some 15 years back, people gave no real importance, priority to seeing how many steps they have walked. Now, I find it weird. The modern day people, of course, even some people, people older than me still do it. They've started counting their steps. They're like, I will do 10,000 steps. For some people, it's nice. Some people who walk less now have to achieve the target and they do more. But some people by default do it. They don't care. But then I realize that for some people, maybe quantifying what they have done gives them a sense of achievement. I also fall in that line. You have a feeling of, oh, I've done this. I've done these many things. That helps you. To add that flavor, I'm just going to add one more sheet here. Your day-to-day tracker. This one gives you a complete track on what you do on a day-to-day basis. What do I mean by that? Now, let's say on this day, let's say starting from 9th, on the 9th of March, let's say you did percentages. The schedule says fractions and percentages. Let's say on Monday, when you type the day automatically comes. And arithmetic, press arithmetic, and then attempted, let's say 10 questions I attempted, and 9 of them were right, and the one incorrect was MCQ. Type it down. It will fetch you all the information. Feed in which topic you have done. Percentages, and then what difficulty was it? Let's say medium, right? Let's say on the second day, you did again arithmetic. This time you did 5 questions only, and then you get all 5 of them right. So none of them were incorrect. Again, let's say the same topic, medium. You can keep filling in this. Percentages, fractions to decimals, percentages, successive percentages, increase, decrease, properties, solving. You can feed in all the information that you need here. The moment you feed in this, you will get your accuracy, your marks, and everything that's needed. Everything. This way, you can have a feeling of, oh, I've done these many questions. Does it give you an accurate data of what you have achieved? Does it reflect on your CAT scores? Does it utterly reflect exactly the same way? The answer is no. I'm giving you a heads up here. I'm giving you a disclaimer straight away here. These numbers might not exactly 100% reflect where you stand, but these numbers give you an idea of what you have done until now, which is a boost for some people, which sometimes also pushes people to do better. So that's the reason why I have the sheet. It works for me. In my head, it works for me. For some people, it works. For some people, they'll be like, the number of questions I do in a day doesn't really reflect on what I've achieved. If you fall that, fine. But for the sense of that achievement, sometimes the numbers give me an achievement. I do that. And on a weekly basis, when you do it, you also happen to get a week on week tracker. So the module, I click arithmetic here. In the week of 9th of March, I've solved 15 questions, got 14 of them right. It gives me my accuracy, everything. It gives me a consolidated weekly schedule, a weekly performance rating, which is good. For some people, it works. I repeat, does it work for everyone? Maybe it might work for you. It might not work for someone else, or the other way around. But the sense of numbers, the comfort of numbers, the sense of achievement is great here. It has some value to most people in this world now. So I'm adding this. It works. It works. Try, give it a try. See if it works for you. And then there is a separate page for sectionals for all three sections. Again, same idea. Date, what source was it, how many attempted. Let's say 20, not 20. The total is, let's say I attempted 10, 18, 14 were correct. All 4 incorrect were MCQ. Feed it to everything, all of them, depending on what sectional you are giving. Feed it in, keep a track of it. When you revisit, you will understand what needs to be done. Those values matter. And then finally mocks. When you come to mocks, same. I've given you space for 30. Feel free to expand it if you want. But I think 30 is a ballpark. 25 is a ballpark. 20 to 25 is a ballpark. I'm giving you 30. Some people do more than 30. Some people do less than 30. If you want to extend it, feel free to do it. So when you say mock 1, again, let's say date 24th March. Attempts, again, I'm going to go 10, then 9, 0. Oops, okay. 9, 0. So you can feed in everything here. So when you say 3 MCQ were incorrect, it will fetch theta 2 incorrects. And for quant, 12 I did. And then 9 I got right. And then 1 incorrect MCQ. It will fetch you every information that you need. And it will get you the total. For some people, table works. If you want it to be in a nice chart where you can look and then get data, come to the dashboard here. This will fetch you everything that you need. Your monthly progress is tracked here. And then you can also notice that your scores are put in a beautiful columnar graph where you can look, infer and work around it. It's a beautiful chart that works for me. The sheet works. Trust me, the more you work, the more you want to go update it. It's like a streak. Some people have Snapchat streaks. The same thing here. You want to maintain a streak. The more you do, the better. Trust me, when you follow this religiously for 3 weeks, the least, I tell you, when you look at that information, you will be flabbergasted by the amount of effort that you have put, and you want to continue it. So streak maintenance, the achievement part is tremendous. It's great here. So have a go at it. It works. It will help you out. One quick look at the chart here. Too much time for solving the question, and my best friend solved in 4 or 5 minutes sometimes. It makes me demotivate. Ujjwal, that's what I said some time back. Own your prep. Own your prep. I'll tell you this. You will probably understand this, maybe. One of my friends got married at the age of 24. I got married at the age of 29, 28, 29. One of my friend is still not married. One of my friend is married, they don't have a child. One of my friend doesn't even have a job today. We hang out, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No one looks at the other person and says, hey, you are leading a happy life. Don't. Just don't compare this idea of my friend solved it in 5 minutes, I took 20 minutes. His comfort and your comfort are not same. Remember that. Some people are very effortless. Imagine this. Would you go and compare, he has a girlfriend, I don't have a girlfriend? No, you don't. Why worry about he solved it in 5 minutes, I took 20 minutes? Immaterial. Learn how to go to 5 minutes. Don't demotivate yourself saying he solved it in 5, I couldn't. Tell yourself, I couldn't do it today, I can go there. Learning can be achieved. The moment you tell, I cannot do this, you are dumping yourself. Don't. Comparison is the biggest enemy here when it comes to competitive exams. On all grounds, the underlining idea, competitive exams, comparison puts you down. It pulls you down. There is no way of going up again. Don't do that. Keshul is asking anything on meditation from a CAT aspirant perspective. Absolutely the wrong guy to ask, Keshul. I cannot stand in the same place for more than 3 minutes. Forget about meditating. I am utterly pathetic when it comes to standing in the same place. If you have noticed in this entire video, I did not stand in the same place for more than a minute. Even despite the fact I had a lot of things to talk. Meditation is far-fetched. Far-fetched. My ability to meditate is the equivalent of RCB winning an IPL trophy. It's a fluke. Maybe one day I will do. Not on a day-to-day basis. Think about RCB and IPL trophy, how frequent they are. And the same goes with me and meditation. Poles apart. Right. I think we have spent enough time. We have had a lot of questions. I think I pretty much answered every question of yours. So I'll sign it off. Once again, don't ask for the edit access. Create your own copy. Create your own strategy. Create your own prep. Create an idea that works for you. Period. Right? It was a great session. I had fun talking to you folks. We had good time. So tune in. We will see for more classes. We'll discuss a lot of ideas, a lot of strategies, a lot more in the think tank. It's just 9 months. We still have 9 months to go. We'll definitely catch up, do more discussions, more strategical perspectives. We'll do that. Stay tuned. Thank you.